Hello there and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about what to do to get your 3-year-old to listen and be nice, okay? So this is a problem that some parents are facing, that they have a 3-year-old or a child around that age who is not listening to the instructions that they're giving them or just anything that they, the parent, are saying. And overall, the child is not being nice or kind in their response, okay? So if you're a parent in this situation, this can be very frustrating for you. It can be difficult to move forward with your day. It can be difficult to get things accomplished. And you can become very frustrated when you feel like you're constantly trying to get your child to do something and instead a battle breaks out. And it can be challenging too when your child is responding in a really negative way. So we're going to quickly go over 5 tips of what you can do in this situation. And these are all gentle parenting tips, and you can find more information about that at themovingmama.com. But basically, we're going to look for solutions that don't include punishments or sticker charts or some of these more common discipline strategies. We're going to respectfully discipline and guide our child in this scenario, okay? So, tip number 1 is we need to find the root of the problem. If the problem is because your child is just really tired or hungry or overstimulated, then go and address those needs first and think about how you can avoid that coming up in the future. Like if you skipped nap time because you had to go to the grocery store and then your child is irritable and not listening, well, maybe should have changed the schedule around so that your child didn't miss their nap. So plan for the future in that case too, if you see it's the same issue coming up a lot of times. So if they're tired, hungry, lonely, overstimulated, you need to address that first. And just like us as adults, sometimes we're just cranky because we're hungry or tired. So keep that in mind for your children. Number 2, be patient and consistent with what you're saying to your child. And sometimes you have to be creative with your repetition as well. So, for instance, when it comes to getting your child to listen, you need to consistently get close to them, get their attention, and maybe you need to be creative. Maybe you need them to repeat after you what you said, or repeat it back twice, or whatever it's going to take for them to really absorb what you've told them. And remember to just be consistent and patient with it too. So if you have to repeat and repeat and repeat, make sure that by the 5th or 10th time you feel that you've said it, you're still patient. And if you are repeating yourself 10 times, then it's possible that it's just not working the way that you're trying to communicate to your child. So maybe you need to sit down with them and focus, or maybe you need to shorten your instructions into something small. So if you're asking them to do 3 different things, maybe just cut it down to 1 thing. And once they've done that part of the task, you add on and tell them the next thing that you need them to do, because it can be very overwhelming. And when it comes to trying to get your child to be nice, you need to be consistent in that as well. So if your child becomes really aggressive when you're asking them to do things, you need to consistently say things like, "I won't let you hurt me," and you remove their hand if they're trying to hit you. And also be consistent in validating their feelings, recognizing that they've got big emotions happening. And as their parent, you are guiding them and teaching them how to handle these emotions. And it's good to remember that you two are on the same team and have that perspective as you're dealing with that negative behavior. And remember that I am the parent and I'm going to help my child learn how to control these big emotions, and I'm going to do what I can to help them. And just stay consistent with that patience and with that love in the moment, even as things escalate. Just try to stay patient and loving with them. So the 3rd tip is to have appropriate expectations of your child. So if you're asking them to do something that's really difficult, then it might just feel impossible to them and they're not going to try. That's why I said sometimes you need to break the tasks into individual tasks instead of giving them a big task to do. So instead of saying, I need you to pick up your toys, then go put on your pajamas or something like that, you can say, first pick up this toy, now we're going to go pick up this toy. But if you say pick up all the toys, it can seem really overwhelming. So you can break things down into steps and just kind of know your child. What are they realistically capable of doing? And maybe they were able to do that task one day, but today they can't. Maybe today they're a bit more tired and they just can't do what they did before. Just be understanding that your expectations need to be age appropriate for your child. And if you consistently have age appropriate expectations for your child, which will of course grow over time, it will give your child a lot of confidence and really help them to meet your expectations because you're giving them reasonable expectations. And they will grow and develop and eventually be very independent and capable people. And with our expectations also, we need to understand what is appropriate for their emotions. And at 3 years old, it is really hard to control your big emotions, and you just want to help your child on that journey and know that you are there to help guide them and help them to learn how to deal with these big emotions. So you don't want to shame or punish the big emotions, but you want them to learn to express them in more appropriate ways. And I have lots of more information about that, or you can reach out if you need more tips on that. But basically, you just want to help them to get through these emotions, and you need to go into it knowing that it's normal for a 3-year-old to express their emotions in a really big way. And you just have to kind of go with it, and things don't always change overnight, but consistently being there for our child and having expectations that are just right at their age level will really help. Tip number 4 is we need to have connection before correction. That's a big motto in the gentle parenting world. Basically, just building a stronger relationship with our child and a relationship full of trust and security. That's really going to help our child as well, because when we respect them and show that we're considerate of their feelings, it'll make it a lot easier for them to listen to us and to do what we want them to do, because they know that their feelings are being considered as well. They know that we have a trustful relationship. And building this strong foundation is really important for all your years of parenthood. So try to connect more with your child, maybe have a nice morning routine, ask them how they slept, ask them what kind of dreams they had, and be interested and involved in what they're doing. Sometimes we can be really distracted with everything else going on in life, but if we can really focus on our child and give them our attention, it really can help them a lot. And we want to honor them as a family member, and just instead of seeing ourselves as the adults and them as the kids, really think about how they are a member of the family, they are their own person, and use that to build a stronger connection with them and show them that you really do consider their thoughts and feelings and what they want as well. Even though they're only 3, they clearly have a lot of things that they want and they desire. And it's not to say that our child should get everything they want anytime they want it, but when we're considerate of that, it helps them to feel more understood. So keep that in mind when your child is not listening to you or upset. Try to think of how you can still honor them as a member of the family. Even if they're saying mean things to you or trying to hurt you, try to remember how to honor them as a person and how to continue to respect them even through that difficult moment. And then my 5th and final tip for you is to focus inward as yourself as a parent. So gentle parenting is a really long-term commitment and can take a long time to see results. And you have to be strong on the inside to be able to really guide and discipline your child, because a lot of these things that I'm describing takes a lot of patience. And to have that patience with your child, you need to take time to yourself for self-care and be able to feel refreshed and new for the next day. And I have a post that I'll link below about self-care and how you can implement that into your routine as a mom. And you need to just think about, what are the things that are triggering you and making you angry? How can you focus on those things? How can you learn to speak more gently to your child? Because when we're taking care of ourselves and when we're emotionally healthy, it will be reflected in our children as well. But if we're a total mess, then our children are going to seem like a total mess as well. So instead of thinking first about how to fix your child to behave better and then you'll feel better, think about how you can become more patient and kind with your child, and you'll see that your child's behavior will change as well. So those have been my 5 tips of how to get your 3-year-old to listen and how to be nice. And you can find more information about gentle parenting at themovingmama.com.